Well, good morning. Welcome to Rooted and Relevant. And we had a nice rain shower this morning, and we needed it. We actually get very little rain in Florida this time of year, which makes it fun if you like to play golf and uh, work outside and take walks and the beautiful sunshine. But the grass tends to start getting brown, and you have to water your flowers. And so God decided to just help us out this morning with a nice rain shower. But it's beautiful now, and a little cloud cover still, but just a beautiful morning. I hope you're off to a great start this morning as well. And we're in James chapter 4, and I've entitled this one, The Secret Formula to Success. And it's not all that secret because God manifested it in James chapter 4, and he has broadcasted, if you will, the formula for spiritual success. Ask yourself this question: am I a successful Christian? I mean, it's easy for us to want to shy away from, being arrogant or claiming something that's not true. I'm not saying are you successful in every area, but are you successful in the design that God has for us as born again believers? And the formula is set for us in verses 7 to 10. It says, submit yourselves therefore to God. Submit means to rank yourself under and to make those above you successful. And so we're going to rank ourselves under God's design and God's brilliance and make what he has designed successful. It doesn't matter if it's marriage. It doesn't matter if it's your daily life. It doesn't matter if it's the church. It doesn't matter what one of the designs. I'm not going to try to improve the design. I'm not going to try to alter the design. I'm not going to try to shortcut the design. I'm just going to submit myself to the design. Submit yourselves, therefore, to God. Resist the devil. In other words, he's a liar. Resist the temptation, and he will flee from you. Draw nigh to God, and he will draw nigh to you. In other words, God doesn't move. God never goes anywhere. He is never going to leave you nor forsake you. When God feels like he's a million miles away, remember, he didn't move. You might have moved, but he hasn't moved. So draw nigh, run to God. He is there. Cleanse your hands. In other words, the actions that you do, the decisions that you make sure that they're not selfish. They're not self-centered. Purify your hearts. In other words, have your heart right with God. Have a heart for God. Set the things of God first. Let the kingdom of heaven be first. The things that God wants to be most important. And then he says, purify your hearts, you double-minded, and don't vacillate back and forth between the deceit of the world, your flesh, and the devil, and what God's word has said. Be afflicted and mourn and weep. Let your laughter be turned to mourning and your joy to heaviness. In other words, whatever joy and fulfillment you think your selfishness is going to bring you, mourn over that. In other words, turn to God and say, you know what? I don't know more than you, and I'm not smarter than you, and I must submit myself to your designs. Humble yourselves in the sight of the Lord, and he shall lift you up. The idea is that if I will mourn over my sin, if I will mourn over my failures, and I will submit myself to God and keep my heart single-minded on him, singular focused on him, then what God does is he helps me to be humble. It's a proper view of self, a right view of God. And then he lifts us up. He gives us fulfillment and purpose and joy and peace in the life that he has called us to. So the formula is easy. Submit yourself to every design of God. Resist the devil. Draw nigh to God. He's never moving. He's right there drawing nigh to you. And make sure that we make our decisions singular focused on pleasing God, and rejecting the urge and the natural propensity that we have to please ourselves. Why? Because then God helps us with a right view of ourselves and a right view of God to humbly receive the grace that He has for us. And God Himself lifts us up. I hope you have a great weekend. I look forward to seeing you again on Monday, and I hope that you are blessed this weekend. Take care. Bye bye.